Hey everybody, I'm Kris, and today I'm going to be doing a review of this, the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 2019. So, without further ado, let's get into it. This tablet has a 1920 by 1200 IPS display. It's LCD, meaning that if you want AMOLED or something like that, you would have to go with a different tablet model. But I like the display very much, for the record. And it does not have a home button on it, which you may have noticed. So it's a bit similar to things like the iPad Pro in that way, and the newest Samsung Galaxy phones. So it doesn't have a home button, and the build quality is very nice. It has a metal finish, and it has this cool, almost space gray color if you're used to iPhones. I believe it's presented as black, but I like this a lot. It looks very clean. It has a few different features on the side. It has a sleep-wake button. It's got the volume rockers, and it has expandable storage, which is incredible because the tablet itself, this model that I have, has 128 gigabytes of storage, and I already put a 64 gig card in it, so that adds up to a whole lot of storage overall. And then we have the USB-C connector at the bottom, so this is going to make the tablet compatible with any chargers you have for existing Android accessories or devices. So this tablet is going to have two cameras. It's going to have a front camera and a rear camera, which is situated in the back. The rear camera shoots up to 8 megapixels for photos, and the front camera shoots 5 megapixels, so that's great for video chats or just taking selfies, things like that. And they both shoot 1080p 30 FPS video. Another important thing to note is that this, unlike some other tablets out there, has a headphone jack, which is incredibly useful if you have earbuds or any other 3.5mm headphones. So that's going to be very convenient for you. So now let's get into the software. This tablet runs Android Pie, which is also Android 9. This is the latest version of the operating system as of 2019. First of all, let's get into the security feature of it. So the tablet itself does not have a fingerprint lock or Face ID or anything like that, but I think what makes up for that is an Android feature known as Smart Lock, which basically allows you to connect any Bluetooth device to the tablet that you own, and then as soon as the tablet detects that, it will unlock. So I have it paired to my Fitbit Versa right here, and it recognizes it, and I can just unlock the tablet by swiping up. So this is the home screen, and in Android 9 for Samsung devices, we have a new experience known as One UI. So earlier versions of Samsung were called the Samsung Experience. That's basically just Samsung's version of stock Android. The first thing you might notice is that there is no navigation bar at the bottom. And on other Android devices, you may have noticed there's a navigation bar that has 3 buttons on it: the back button, the home button, and the multitasking button. Well, One UI collapses these buttons into 3 little bars that you can do gestures on in order to replace those buttons and have you take full advantage of the display. So, for example, to go home, I would flick this. To multitask, I would flick this up, and then I can just go back out with the home gesture. And then over here is the back button, which won't really do anything because I'm on the home page. But yeah, these all work really well, and it really allows you to take full advantage of the nice display size. I'm going to go into a few different areas that make the tablet very useful. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into web browsing on the tablet. Now I've had a very smooth experience doing that. So what I've just opened is the Samsung Internet app, which ships just stock with the tablet. So as you've noticed, it has dark mode in it, which is very cool. It's very desirable these days. This is just a very smooth experience. You can see the scrolling is very responsive. All the buttons are very responsive. It loads very fast and everything. So that's a great experience. It's just a traditional web browser, but it does have a nicer look to it. So I like that. Let's try a YouTube video. Alright, so here is YouTube on the Galaxy Tab A. And I'm using my graphical benchmark that I use for every new device I get, which is Injustice 2, one of my favorite video games, and one that is also very graphically impressive. So, we've got the Super Moves collection, and as you can see, it looks incredible on this 1920 by 1280 IPS display. Very immersive, and the Dolby Atmos sound really helps. Also, what you might notice is that the aspect ratio is really great for video. So this tablet has a 16:10 aspect ratio, which is much different than the iPad's aspect ratio of, I believe, 4:3. This is definitely a great tablet to watch YouTube videos on, and as you can see, the contrast is very, very good. So yeah, I really love this tablet for YouTube. And another advantage of the software piece is that it does picture-in-picture on YouTube, which is what something like the iPad has never been able to do. So that's very cool. Let's get into the gaming aspect of using the tablet. So I've downloaded a few different games on the tablet just so that you can see what it can do graphically and what it's capable of. So the tablet's 3 GB of RAM allow it to run games of high quality while still being very fast and responsive. So this is Subway Surfers right here. Alright, and one thing you're going to notice right off the bat as I run this app is that it has very full and immersive sound, and that is because of Dolby Atmos technology within the tablet. So that is the technology that allows you to have more immersive sound, as it takes away the limit of just 2 channels for the stereo speakers. So that's very cool. So now, let's tap to play and you'll see just how smoothly it runs. Very responsive. I'm having no graphical issues or glitches or anything. I just died, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So as you can see, the game looks very cool, and it really takes good advantage of the screen's size and pixel density. So now let's go into a little bit more of a graphically demanding app, Real Racing 3 by EA. So as you can see, the game looks incredible on this device. You can hear that Dolby Atmos sound once again. And it is very responsive. So yeah, this is definitely a very fun and immersive experience for anyone who's looking to get into gaming on the Samsung Galaxy Tab A. Now let's talk about doing some actual work on this. We've got Google Drive right here. Alright, so this is going to be Google Drive. Let's say I wanted to get some schoolwork done by watching a video on a browser and at the same time writing a paper about it or taking notes on it or something like that. So let's open up this worksheet, for example, and it'll open it right here. And then you just swipe up on the multitasking button, as I mentioned before, and then to do split screen in One UI, you're going to just hold down the app icon, open a split screen view, and select whatever you want to watch. So it really doesn't make much sense for me to watch an Injustice 2 video and then do a worksheet for school, but this is just for the sake of example. You can definitely do that with the Samsung Galaxy Tab A. Alright, so we've gotten into all the stuff I love about this tablet. But there are some things that sort of bothered me about using the tablet. For example, the fact that these bezels are so thin makes it a little bit hard at times to actually use the tablet. So if you hold the tablet, you're probably going to hold it like this. But if your palms touch the screen at all, it's going to register that as a touch. If you're browsing YouTube like this, for example, and your palm happens to be a little bit on the screen too much, it'll click another video. And that's happened to me by accident plenty of times. Also, it does kind of bother me a little bit there's no fingerprint sensor, because if I don't have a Bluetooth device on me, I have to type in the PIN, which is kind of frustrating given that an iPad, for example, has a fingerprint reader at the same price as this. Also, not all games necessarily work equally on this. I tried Asphalt 9, which is a highly popular game on here, and it looks very pixelated for whatever reason, and I couldn't figure out why. Also, the Google Play Store, if you compare it to something like the Apple App Store, is very limited in apps. You can't really find things like art apps, graphic design apps, code apps, things like that very easily on this app store. That being said, if you're not looking for anything very heavy duty, this is definitely something I can recommend. Another thing that people have gripes about is that the tablet does not come with an S Pen. Something like the Galaxy Tab S4 or even previous versions of the Tab A have come with an S Pen, which allows for pressure-sensitive drawing, writing, and sketching on the tablet screen. This does not come with that. So all in all, would I recommend the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 2019? I'm going to say yes, because it's very useful for multitasking, video watching, and gaming. It has great specs, it's very well put together, everything's very intuitive. It comes in at only $329. So for 128 gigabytes of storage, $329 is really not that much, especially when you consider that other devices tend to cost a whole lot more than that for the same storage. So I would definitely recommend this tablet to anybody who just wants to be a casual tablet user, who browses the internet, plays casual games, and things like that. So with that, this is Kris Kendall signing off. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.